Further, we joined now by Professor Sipho Seepe, who is a political analyst. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. How are you on this particular Friday?
Good morning. I'm fine.
All right, so let's go straight into it. A closer look then at the on the appearance of Cedric Nkabinde, Chief of Staff to suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. He was appearing for the second time with a supplementary statement. His testimony, characterized by threats to him, revealed distrust in police leadership. What did you make of that?
Well, there's no doubt that there is tensions. There are factions within the police. We know that some police have decided to testify anonymously because they are concerned about their lives. There've been other police who have been reported to have been killed because they were investigating some of the activities by the crime syndicate and drug cartels. So what is emerging does not come as a surprise, but what it does, it vindicates the position that was put forward by Lieutenant General Mkonazi when he said the decision that he made in holding that press conference was also to avert a situation where the police were going to be shooting at each other, where the police would be turning on each other. So that spectacle was something that he felt that he needed to be averted. But what has emerged from Gabinde is also that there are some people who are so brazen that even as he was testifying before Parliament, they could actually send text messages threatening him. So you can actually see that the police, the SAPS, is in big trouble. That these commissions and this ad hoc committee meetings are revealing quite the rot, but not to the extent that, put it this way, it will seem that Mkonas simply present us with a tip of an iceberg. What is emerging is very worrying.
The claim made by Nkabinde that AfriForum, a civil rights organization here in the country of South Africa, financially backed a plan to ensure that former Independent Police Investigative Directorate or IPID head, Robert McBride, becomes National Police Commissioner instead of that acting commissioner at the time, who was Khumutso Patlane. Why do you think AfriForum would involve itself in this manner, and can the legitimacy of this statement be successfully tested?
Well, I mean, that is a matter that AfriForum has already taken up. The leader of AfriForum, Kari Kriel, has also suggested that the organization is going to sue or take legal actions against Nkabinde. But they also dared Nkabinde to say Nkabinde should be subjected to a lie detector test that he, as Kari Kriel, as a person representing AfriForum, also is willing to take. So I think we are going to see an unfolding drama. But we also know that AfriForum, when it comes to litigation, it is one organization that is always eager to go to court. So whether he's telling the truth, it will emerge, because this is not a matter that is going to be left without being followed, including the threat that Gabide said he received from a certain gentleman called Paul O'Sullivan.
So, on the testimony then of Dr. Mary De Haas on Tuesday, she was criticized on a testimony as described as unverified or hearsay, with some members of parliament arguing that without names or documents, it's difficult for the committee to treat her input as strong evidence. What do you make of her refusing to name her sources, even going as far as saying she will withdraw her testimony if her boundaries are not respected?
Well, I mean, this is an example of white privilege, that white people in this country can actually stand up there and speak as experts. And what came out is that here was somebody who appeared to be more driven by rumor. And this is a person who is not even qualified to speak with such authority on police matters. And it's something that Mkhwanazi himself had said, that you have these people that he does not know, but whenever they speak, their message, their words, their statements tend to carry weight. And there's also been suggestion that even the letter that Mkhunu had written, where he was disbanding the PKTT, was also influenced by the same Merity House. Now, what has happened is that she has succeeded in disgracing herself, including to the extent that the University of KwaZulu-Natal has distanced itself from suggestions that associate the Merity House with the university, simply pointing out that she belongs to a university that no longer exists, the University of Natal, the one that ultimately merged with the University of Durban Westville to form the University of KwaZulu-Natal. But effectively, her credentials were also questioned. Not only were her statements, but even whether she can actually be trusted. So we found somebody who was really making a mockery of herself, despite this person being a person known in this country to be an expert on the violence in the KZN and the violence that involves the police.
Let's move to the testimony of Lieutenant General Molefe Fani now, Professor, the Divisional Commissioner for Supply Chain Management at the South African Police Service. How concerning are the weaknesses in due diligence and risk management in procurement processes in the SAPS, the South African Police Service?
Well, the truth of the matter is that when it comes to procurement, that has been the Achilles heel of this government. That even though the systems are in place where there should be separation from the bid specification committees to bid evaluation committees and to bid adjudication, you find that the people who are deployed to serve have been less than honest in their dealings. And of course, what people will do will also defend to say, as far as they are concerned, they were not aware of these things. But what we also know is that, fortunately, in this country, whenever you have something that is amiss, you'll find that there are individuals within the sector who are willing to be whistleblowers or who are willing to leak the information in the press. The case in point is this Matala matter, where it was indicated that even as it was going out there and it was being accepted, people were already complaining about the fact that there is something amiss with the process.
Let's go back then to Cedric Nkabinde, Chief of Staff to suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, and his testimony. After he testified, it was cut short due to lack of clarity on locations and dates. The members of parliament got upset and went as far as saying he should be investigated for perjury. How likely is that to happen?
Well, I mean, it's likely to happen unless he tries to. I mean, it's really up to the parliamentary committee to simply say, we're willing to look at the instances where he has been less and frank, especially if that information is so important for them in terms of the determination of the allegations that were made by the Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. What is important by parliamentarians is whether the testimonies that are given are going to be helpful. But they will take a dim view where people come there to undermine the process of finding the truth. So it ultimately depends on what Parliament will do. But my sense is that this Parliament has an appetite to follow through where people misbehave themselves.
Professor Seepe, thanks again for joining us. It's always great catching up with you.
You're welcome.
That's Professor Sipho Seepe, political analyst, just giving us a roundup of the latest as far as Parliament's ad hoc committee into corruption within the South African Police Service.
From Africa's broadcast capital to the furthest corners of the globe, this is Rise and Shine. Every week